So today we're going to use the freeze-dried Wholesaler ground lamb, and we're going to make ourselves some Greek gyros, or gyros as some people say. And I'm going to show you how simple it is to do it, and once again show you that survival food doesn't need to be boring. Let's get into it. Alright folks, welcome back. So before we can begin the video, I want to remind folks who may be watching this for the first time, my link down below for freeze-dried Wholesalers, if you're interested in picking some up, will save you 15% just by clicking the link. It may not look like it while you're adding stuff to the cart. When you go to check out, it's going to save you that discount. It's going to give you that discount. So if you're interested in getting stocked up on food, and right about now I'd start to recommend you start getting stocked up on food given the world situation, they can really do it for you well there, and you can save some money just by using my link down below. So we're going to do something I haven't messed around with too much, and that is the freeze-dried lamb. This is the freeze-dried crumbled lamb. I'm going to make the gyros or gyros or however you say it with the lamb today. I know that that's technically it's beef and lamb mixed together and all that, but we're going to try this out. And I got my pita bread, my tzatziki sauce, all my vegetables, everything's ready to go. We're going to try this stuff out. Now, to hydrate this stuff is fairly simple. You're going to just take out your oxy absorber and your desiccant. You're going to throw them out. You're going to cover the desired amount of ground lamb with crumbles with warm water. Now, I have warm water. It's tap. My tap water is pretty darn hot. My water heater sometimes I think is working overtime, but it is fairly hot. So we're going to put it in there. I'm going to open up the bag and show you how this stuff looks when you open it. It's fairly simple. Now, I always get the question, how long is it good for after you open up the pack? Well, that depends. If you're going to reseal it and you're going to put a new oxygen absorber in there, you'll probably get another 5 years out of it. If you're just going to close the bag and stick it somewhere in room temperature, you'll probably get a year out of it. Honestly, I've been doing this for a while now, and I've never had a bag go bad on me. And I regularly eat this stuff as well as show you on video. So I have a lot put away for emergencies, but I also will on occasion use this to eat with. So we're just going to take some of this and toss it in here. This will probably hydrate fairly quickly. I found the ground cooked meats tend to hydrate very, very quick. And remember, too, when you're doing this, that this stuff feels super light right now. When you get it out, when it's hydrated, it's going to be a lot heavier. Also, make sure to wash your hands before doing that. I'm going to put a little more in there, because I want to make a couple of these with and without vegetables, depending on how you like them. I'll show you that in the video. So we're going to do this amount right here. Again, you can just eyeball this. It doesn't have to be exact or perfect. There we go. And you see what it looks like. It's very, very lightweight. Almost feels like styrofoam. Very, very lightweight. So we're going to cover that. We're going to wait about 5 minutes. And while we're waiting, I'm going to set up the vegetables and prepare them for the thing. Then I'm going to marinate it, get it all together. We're going to heat it up. Remember, this is cooked, so we don't have to cook this. We're just heating it up with the sauce and everything. Then we're going to put it all together. So give me a few minutes, and I'll be right back. Now, as far as the tomatoes go, that's really up to you how you like it. I like them kind of diced thinly, so I'll just cut them like this and dice them up. And you can see right there, they'll be good to garnish with. We're just going to toss them in. And there you go. So you got tomatoes set up. Now we're going to do the onion, which is fairly simple. And I like red onion for this. You can do white onion if you want. I kind of like the little bit of extra kick this has with the red onion in it. So I'm going to take a small amount here, because remember, we're not making a ton of this. We'll save the rest of the onion for something else. Okay, there we go. Get that out of the way. And we'll just chop that up. Fairly simple to do. Again, too, one of the things I noticed when the pandemic hit and people were eating at home more, people didn't know how to cook for themselves. So that's why I tell people, if you're going to get survival food, get out there and actually practice with it. Buy a little extra and practice with it and see how you like it. So there we go. That's simple vegetable prep right there. I'm going to clean up my mess there, and we'll start in with that and see how the lamb is doing. All right, so I want to use that pan to kind of sear the onions a little bit. But the first thing I want to do is check on the lamb there, and it seems to be getting nice and soft. Has a little bit to go. It's still a little on the outside. It's a little hard, but it's still as you can see, it's starting to crumble in my hands easily. So you see, that doesn't take very long. That was about the time it took me to cut that up and throw out the ends and wipe the counter here. Less than 5 minutes. So we're going to give it a few more minutes, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to kind of pan fry the onions a little bit, and then we're going to make up our marinade for that and just heat it up. Remember, we're not cooking that. It's already cooked. We're just going to kind of heat it up, but I want to get the sauce and everything in there and the tastes in there before. Then we'll heat up our pita bread, throw in a little feta cheese for good measure, and use our tzatziki sauce, and we'll get it going. So, be right back. All right, so I have a little butter in the pan here. I'm using 2 pans to do this. I'm just going to do the onions really quick. We're going to move this out of the way here. This pan doesn't particularly like this stove. This is a Bruin stove, by the way. I reviewed this and I've shown this a bunch of times, but that's fine because we're not really doing anything super long on here. I'm just going to fire up the gas, fire up the stove, and we'll melt that on there. And remember, I'm not really cooking these onions. I just want to sear them a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy with it. So I'm going to throw them in there and get that going. Hoping the onion weight will hold it forward. It won't. So remember, folks, don't use these pans if you use this stove. But I'm really not going crazy with it, so that'll be fine. I'm just going to heat them up a little bit. I don't want to burn or anything. Just give them a little bit of a searing, a little bit of a cook. Not too much. All right, bring you back when we're ready to do the meat. All right, so as you can see, that's about the consistency we want. Just starting to get a little translucent. You don't want them burned up too much. Just a little bit on the cooking end of things. Not too much. We're going to turn off the stove. I always turn it the wrong way. And we're going to check out the meat right now. Let's see how that is doing. All right. There we go. Bring it over here. Yeah, now all that is nice and soft. See? Crumbles right in my hand. No problem at all. So what we're going to do is strain this, okay? And then I'm going to mix it up with the mixture I want and put in a little bit of my tzatziki sauce and a little bit of my feta cheese, some seasonings. I'm going to see how well this can come out and how well this tastes once it's all done. I have tried the lamb before. I got to say it's pretty darn good. So let me get this strained up and we'll be right back. All right, so I got the meat all ready. What I did was I put a little bit of the dried onion in here, okay? A little bit of garlic salt and my mix of salt and pepper. I keep these in these little Tic Tac dispensers out here. They're handy for camping too as well. If you're going to store your spices that way, they're a handy way to do it. I got that all mixed up. What I'm going to do is sear the meat a little bit. I mixed around the spices. Again, I'm going to not cook the meat, but warm it up a little bit. And then we're going to add the feta cheese and the tzatziki sauce. I'm going to take these out right now because they're good. They're done. I kind of move them with my hands. Folks, if you're doing this at home, please make sure you wash your hands. All right. So we're going to move to a different pan because I don't like the way that pan sits on there. And we're going to try heating this up. I'm actually going to use my titanium pan from Lexada. I'm going to move this over here. And I'm just using a little butter on this. Nothing fancy on it. I just don't want it to stick. So I'm just taking a piece of butter and kind of spinning it around there. There we go. That seems to stick better, or stand on it better. We're going to warm this stuff up. Now we're going to warm up the pita bread too as well. Let me get this going first. Turn on the oven, the stove. All right. Turn that down a little bit. We're not trying to cook anything there. We're just trying to heat it up. So I'm going to put this in here. Kind of brown it up a little bit. Give it a little flavor. And then we're going to come back and put the seasonings in. All right, so I got it warmed up enough. Got it kind of grilled a little. Just a little warmed up there, as you can tell. What we're going to do now is toss in our tzatziki sauce. If anybody has the correct pronunciation of this, I believe it's tzatziki, I call it, but I don't know if that's right or not. Now remember, we're not going to put more of this on the pita bread. This is really just for flavoring right now. We're just flavoring it with this. We're not putting enough in here to make it completely done already. And I'm going to put in some feta cheese so it melts in there with it. Kind of tastes good. Then we're just going to put on our pita bread and see how well this comes out. Okay, so there you go. That's enough there. You just want to kind of season it. Okay, I'm going to put that in there. Put a little bit of feta cheese in the mix here. And I'm going to take the heat way, way, way down. There we go. All right, so the next thing we do, breaking the cheese up a little bit, is come back when that's all finished and take the heat way down on it. And then we will have something to put on bread and plate it up. All right, so we're all set. That's all melted nice and even in there. You don't have to melt the cheese in there. I just did it just to kind of add to the flavor. Now I take a good helping of this, okay? And I'm just going to put that right in the center of the pita bread. And I didn't warm up the pita bread because it stayed fairly decent out here. I don't want it too hot. We're going to put a little bit of the meat in there, the lamb. And I will tell you that I have cheated and I ate some already. And wow, this came out good. It came out awesome. Okay, little tomatoes. Tomatoes in there. And then we do the onions. There we go. And it's that simple. Give it a little shot of sauce on the top there. And it's really that simple to do. So there you go. There's the finished product. I'm going to get that out on a plate so I can show it to you what it looks like when it's done on a plate. And we'll finish up. I'll give you some information on the lamb. We can take it from there. So there is your finished product right there. And I'll tell you, that does look really, really good. And I have tasted it already. And that is going to make for an awesome lunch. Let me tell you. So you see, you can use this food in almost anything. You really use it just like you'd use regular food that's not freeze-dried. You simply have to hydrate it. And you see how easily that hydrated. I mean, this stuff, I'll pull a piece out here to look at. It's all soft and, you know, regular, almost like a hamburger consistency. And you know I'm going to eat that because it's really good. So it's very, very simple to prepare. And again, showing you that your food doesn't have to be boring. I mean, worst case scenario, you're going to make up some tzatziki sauce. Maybe you have some feta cheese freeze-dried in storage from somewhere. They do make it. All in all, this can be put together in a very simple way. And the recipe for this is fairly simple. It's like cucumbers and yogurt and all sorts of dill spices and everything. Very, very simple to make. Very easy to put together. And darn tasty, I gotta say. So, I'm going to go eat my lunch. As you can see right there. I'm going to go eat my lunch and enjoy this. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, anything you want from freeze-dried wholesalers back there, you can click my link and save 15% on. The prices have gone up a little bit, you know, not going to lie to you. He had to raise his prices a little bit because his suppliers were raising theirs. But all in all, really, really good food. Lasts for 25 years in the bag. And like I said, if you want to reseal that, maybe get another 5 years out of it, I would just stick an oxygen absorber in there, seal the top again with a heat gun or something, or, you know, even a curling iron works well if you just clamp it on there. And seal it up, and it's good for another 5 years. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out all our links down below. We have our freeze-dried wholesaler link. Like I said, that saves you 15% on any of the food he has, and he has such a wide variety of food. I can't even think of anybody else that has freeze-dried ground lamb. We have that one there, so you save 15% by clicking that link. We have our Amazon affiliate store if you're interested in any of the gear that we use in the channel. All that stuff will be in the store. We have our My Patriot Supply link down there. That's preparewithiridium.com, preparewithiridium.com. And we have our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store as well. They don't have freeze-dried ground lamb, but they do have a lot of good stuff there too, so check them out. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.